Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown and welcome social media family to Lloyd Brown Music. Today, March the 23rd, 2021, which happens to be my Earthstrong. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today is my birthday. I'm not asking for silver and gold. All I'm asking you is to rock with me, baby. Rock with me. Now, if you're not from the UK, then you're not going to get that. But those who are resident in the UK will get that, especially those of my age, because of the fact that that was a Lovers Rock tune by a group called Storm. Yeah, just singing that tune just kind of harks me back to those halcyon days of Lovers Rock, you know? Yeah, man, good times. Anyway, today is not only my Earthstrong, which I am celebrating 57 years on this planet, but it's also commemorating the first anniversary of the national lockdown measures that had taken place this time last year. I have to say that the lockdown was obviously something that no one in the country had ever experienced before in their lifetimes. And that is just being Captain Obvious at this point. But I must say, I wasn't really affected by the lockdown that much at the early stages, simply because of the fact that I'm a homely person anyway. I live and work from home. And if I need to do my shopping or pay my bills or go on road, it has to be for something and for a purpose. Otherwise, I'm here creating what I'm basically creating. All right. So it didn't really affect me that much in the beginning. To be honest with you, I was actually, joking about the whole issue. I used to crack jokes in the beginning where if people phoned me, I'd say, make sure you have on your mask before you talk to me down the phone, and all these things and the reality wasn't hitting anyone at that point. But it became less and less and less amusing. If I can put last year, the last 12 months in one word, I'd say that word is undoubtedly loss. I think it's fair to say that a sizable amount of people in this country has experienced some kind of loss. Loss of livelihood, loss of life, loss of sanity, loss of liberty, loss of freedom, loss of common sense, to name a few. But when it started getting serious and the losses that we collectively experienced, I never thought I would be here 12 months later in the knowledge that over 120,000 people has died of this COVID. And the one thing that I think about within this whole COVID era, I think about the people that lived through world wars and how they actually dealt with those chain of events. Because unlike this era, there was no internet, there was no social media. If you was rich enough, you had a phone, if that, and a radio. But just imagine just being at a certain age, going down tube station and using those as bomb shelters to try and protect oneself from the barrage of bombs that was dropping on the capital, on the country. And to put it into some kind of context, right? There's unexploded bombs that has been detonated by Control even now in 2021. And the damage that these World War II bombs has inflicted in 2021 is massive. There was a Controlled explosion the other day. There was just one bomb. And that created a whole heap of damage. So can one imagine what it would have been like in World War II? But anyway, fast forward 70 odd years, 80 years to 2021. Loss. I can't see anything else but that. Loss. Not only family and friends, but also colleagues in our collective, as it were. You know, the first casualty was Delroy Washington. And he just went on and on and on and on and on. You know, Bob Andy, Toots, U-Roy, Bunny Wailer, just to name a few. But anyway, as you can tell by the tone of this piece, this vlog, it is all about reflection, you know? It's all about reflection. And I've kind of condensed it into 5 questions that I've been asking myself. And I don't want people to think that I've gone to the funny farm or anything like that, but I do have conversations with myself in my head in asking relevant questions as to my life, my existence, my coexistence, my being, my direction. And it comes down to these 5 questions. So, without further ado, I'm going to go through the questions one by one. First question, how do you feel? How do I feel? At this moment in time, I feel very, very fortunate. I feel very fortunate to be sitting here talking to a potential 7 billion people. And interacting with you all. And not only that, but doing what I love, which is making music. I love my job of making music. And the feeling throughout that process can be mixed sometimes, you know. Sometimes I wake up and I'm full of the joys of spring. And I knock out a couple of beats, have an idea for songs, collaborate with my brethren and my sister in them. And sometimes I wake up and it's like, oh God, what am I doing this for? What am I doing this for? And then I mentally slap myself in the face when someone links me and shows me their appreciation of what I do. Not glory, not adulation, just appreciation for what I do. because if it was the stardom thing that I was looking, and for me to retain my stardom, I probably would have given this thing up a long time ago, or I'll be stepping on some throats to maintain my position at the top. And there are artists that sadly does that and maintains that practice, but we won't even go there. But I'm just blessed to know that what I do connects with people and they appreciate, love what I do, you know? And that gives me a reason to keep doing what I do, irrespective of trends, you know? And to be able to do that and to enable for people to feel the way they feel about my music, much less me, you know what I mean? It's a blessing, and one that I truly give thanks for. And it's a blessing that I've had for 39 years with the talent that I've been blessed with. So I truly give thanks for that. Other than that, I just feel how I feel when I feel it. But overall, you know, the overarching feeling that I have is one of being fortunate and blessed. Question number 2. Do you remember your last birthday? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Very, very, very clearly. I remembered I was in my bed around 8:30 and the phone rang. And I was so tired, I couldn't even tell the difference if it was my mobile phone or the landline. But whatever it was gonna stay ringing because I was not gonna answer it. I was just that dazed. And then I remembered getting up at 9 o'clock and getting myself together and then getting a phone call from a friend of mine named Maurice, who wished me a happy Earthstrong. But he couldn't stay on the phone long because he had a funeral to go to, and it was the funeral of his father-in-law, I believe. And remember, the day of the lockdown, there were stipulations where you can only have a certain amount of people at certain events at one time. So I think the funerals were, it was 10 people that were allowed at a funeral. And there were plans for a massive turnout at that particular funeral. And that was the beginning of the realization of not only the loss that people were going to bear, but the inability to say goodbye, the inability to celebrate, to celebrate the lives of the people that they lost. I remember watching one TV program, and it was about this gentleman from Ireland. Oh my gosh, yeah. And he was being interviewed, and he was telling the reporter how he wasn't able to go to his wife's funeral. And all he could do was literally just sit in his yard while the funeral took place. And all he could get from that funeral was a photograph of the coffin in the ground with a priest and the gravedigger. That is all the memory he had of the loss of his wife. And when you see stories like that, it kind of puts things into great perspective, man. Into real perspective. And it was the beginning of a shaping of an era that all now is not even over. This era is going to last a long, long time. And in essence, it's going to breed a lot of positives and negatives at the same time. More than what we're used to. More than the regular amount of positives and negatives. It's just going to be bumped up a whole lot more. Amplified and reverberated. So yeah, that pretty much was the start of my Earthstrong. And I was pretty much being in a creative mood for the rest of the day. Studio mode, that was it, pretty much. Studio mode, Netflix, that was it for me. Next question, number 3. What do you take away and what have you learnt during this COVID era? Well, to kind of follow on from the tail end of question number 2, what I'm learning from this COVID era is that it's far from over. This shit is not over. I don't want to be the prophet of doom or anything like that, but I just think this is a dress rehearsal for what really is gonna occur. Feel it in the water, man. But from a general, local, and worldwide perspective, one of the things I learned from the COVID era was how distracted we was. How distracted we was when there were no restrictions placed on our lives, when there were no rules and regulations as to where you can go, how many people you can go out with, how many people you can have in your yard. You know what I mean? We had the distraction of going here, going there, doing this, doing that. Have no regard. Pay as little as or as much regard as we want to with certain people and certain things. And knowing that we didn't have that distraction and all we had was Netflix, Zoom, Google, YouTube, and the news, kind of shaped a lot of people's opinions about a lot of things in so many ways that ordinarily I wouldn't normally witness from certain people. But I have learned that when certain people's backs are against the wall, the true colors come out. What's in here comes out. What's in here comes out. What's in here comes out. And sadly, a percentage of it was utter total ignorance and bullshit and foolishness. And it came from people that I thought had better sense. But hey, people are people, right? That's what makes us human at the end of the day. But it's just a striking observation in comparison to how you saw certain people before all of this. And they would be going on a certain way. You know, it'll be about love and peace and one love and one love and one love and one love. And then the next thing is like, they're banning everything and everybody. I mean, banning everything and everybody. And not taking care of themselves, their being, not their pocket, not their bank account, not their record sales, not their tour schedules, but taking care of oneself. Anyway. You know, and it's not just from individuals within my line of work, it's humanity as well. It's like I've never seen so much division as well. That has been brought about by theories and theories and theories and theories in this COVID thing. Now, I'm not going to get into that. But all I'm saying is that there's over 120 people dead right now. And something is not kicking in. Something not right. And just with the casualty count with that alone, with the deceased and the pain and the mental anguish that a lot of people are going through right now, even a year later, it's palpable, man. It's palpable. You know? It's suffocation on so many different levels. So many different levels. So many different levels. You know, people have been suffering from cancer, not being able to go to hospital, or their appointments being delayed, and it got delayed to a point where it's gone to a stage where their cancer is incurable, it's terminal. How does one deal with that? But on the upside, another thing I've taken away from this whole COVID era is that there's been an upsurge in creativity, a whole lot, you know. I mean, with TikTok, with music production, you know, with YouTube as a visual medium to aid the creativity, you know, that we all have in one way or another. But it's been made more apparent because of our restrictive behavior in having social media more available to us and for longer periods of time. And that's what I've noticed a lot of. I noticed a lot of creativity and also a lot of change. And by that, I mean people who were going to work, who would commute to work, who would go to the city and have their banker's jobs or they, you know, or what have you, suddenly decide, you know what, I'm not going to do this job anymore. I'm going to go into business. I'm going to be an entrepreneur, just basically selling baby clothes or, you know, or scarves or mittens or whatever, you know, and be their own boss. Seen a lot of that. You see? That shows Marcus Garvey's still in the room, you know what I mean? And I love that. You know, so it's been pretty balanced. Yeah, it's been pretty balanced. Next question. How do you feel about your career and the music business? How do I feel about my career? Okay. Pretty much, I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable where I'm at. I feel comfortable in making the music I want to make. Because I'm not just in the reggae music business, I'm just in the music business. I make music. You know, the one thing that hasn't changed is me. You know, it's like people who drive cars. They're not going to drive the same car forever. Or if they drive the same brand of cars, they're going to drive different models of the same brand. It's just a natural transition. And with music and me, because of my influences throughout my entire life, and even modern day influences as well, I take interest with music that stimulates my senses, stimulates my ears, you know. So that's just a natural progression for me being a vocalist or a songwriter. Let's even go back even further. The progression from me being a sound system man, box boy, to a selector, to a DJ, singer, producer, label owner. That's my progression within my craft. And musically, it reflects in the same way. So I am very comfortable in my career. How do I feel about the music business? Well, I'm going to kind of condense it to the territory that I'm in, which is in the UK. All right. So I'm going to speak on the basis of the UK being my territory. And this is something that I am doing from today. And it might divide opinion, but I want you to hear me out. As from today, my intention is to burn a fire on UK reggae. Now, before any group of people get their pitchforks out and their crosses, burning their crosses and trying to lynch my ass, let me explain what I mean. I'm not banning any individual that makes up the UK reggae thing. I'm not banning no individual. I'm banning the term. I do not like the term. I don't like the term UK reggae. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't like it. It serves no purpose. It has no use. Let me just put something to you real quick. It's fair to say that everyone in the UK and in the world knows about Bob Marley, right? Okay. And it's safe to say that the world has been influenced by Bob Marley and his music. That's safe to say, right? Okay. It's also safe to say that there are people all over the world that's been influenced by the music of Bob Marley so much that they are playing the music and making the music that we call reggae. That fair to say as well? Okay. Then why is it that Japanese people don't call reggae music Japanese reggae? Why is it that American artists and bands don't call their music American music? Why is it that people in Germany, Spain, Italy, France don't call their music that is based upon their geographical location? Why is it that UK reggae has to be a thing. Now, for some people, I completely understand the sincerity that they want to give to the thing. But this is my thing. I've never called Don Campbell, Bitty McLean, Gappy Ranks, Pete Arningale UK artists that make UK reggae. I've never called them that. They're artists that makes music, not UK reggae. You know, it's not a selling point. It's not a selling point because we have the internet. And if people want to hear music that comes from the UK, they're going to tune into stations in the UK that plays music from the UK. But this whole UK reggae thing, it's subjective, alienating, and tribal in nature. And it's just something I know I'm not a part of because I've been made not to be a part of it. And that's great. So UK reggae as a term, I'm banning that. I'm banning that. I haven't got the whole of my life ahead of me. I've got the rest of my life ahead of me. And I'm not going to spend the rest of my life trying to uphold a term. I'm here to make music and to uphold the music with some kind of quality, irrespective of where it comes from. So if I collaborate with Tanya Stephens, for example, which I have, what are you going to call that music? You can't call it UK music because I'm working with an international artist. So it's no longer a UK thing. You see where I'm going? You see where I'm going with that? Anyway, I don't even want to branch out and further over that. I think it's pretty much self-explanatory as to the reasons why I'm banning the term UK reggae. I'm done with it. Done with it. Don't put me into that. I'm not representing that. Sorry. I'm a musician. I make music. You're a musician. You make music. You're a musician. You make music. You're a musician. You make music. If you're all from the UK, fine. It's all good. But it's music, not UK reggae. Anyway. I think I've piped on about that enough. Okay. 5. And the last question, which is simply the future. And to quote the late, great Doris Day, it's not ours to see. The future is not ours to see. I can only think about the next few hours. I can't even think about the next few days. I've never been in such a position where my short-term plans has gotten even shorter. And my long-term plans only exist in my head. They're not down on paper. You know, I don't always have people want to just book their holidays right now to go to wherever right now when we're still in a pandemic, whatever the ras you want to call it. But hey, that's just another issue. But what I'm saying is that I can only literally think about the time it's going to take me to upload this video and for me to go to my bed and pray that I wake up the next morning. That's pretty much it. But I just want to be as fortunate for as long as I can with what I am blessed with what I have, and even with what I don't have. You know, roof over my head, food in my cupboard, hot water run, clean clothes, near enough all my own teeth. I got 31 of my 32 teeth. No fillings. So it's all good. I give thanks. Give thanks. People say you can only take things one day at a time. I literally can only take things 1 hour at a time. And that's good enough for me. Really and truly. So, is with that, I want to thank everyone that has stayed with me till this part of the video. Listening to a 57-year-old fart of a man reflecting about his life and the COVID era that we are in, and the future and the business, and just, you know, you taking on what's in my head and my heart at the moment. So I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for stopping by. And as always, you don't know the coup, people. Please, please abstain from all kind of foolishness. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for any Earthstrong wishes you give me. You know, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And I hope everyone is safe, everyone is blessed on this day. And I'm thinking of all of you that has gone through loss within the last 12 months. Because, trust me, I've experienced loss of many, many kinds. So, my heart is with you, man. So, anyway, listen, I'm out of here. I'm going to bid you adieu. And until we link up next time, people stay blessed, stay safe. Maganski.
Abstain from foolishness.